Hi, everybody. It's a little song. This is from the movie Inception. It's called Time. It's a great song. Hi, everybody. So today is called Child Soldiers, Greta Thunberg, Nayirah, and Severin Suzuki. The idea that anything new under the sun is key for mind control to work. Let's break some spells, ladies and gentlemen. So I didn't want to talk about this Greta character because I felt like it was a distraction. It's a beautiful rainy day here, by the way. I love living in the Pacific Northwest. Rain is awesome. Hit those Rogans up, by the way, everybody. For those of you that are new here, the Rogan is a thumbs up, because Joe Rogan, as we all know, looks exactly like a human thumb. Where'd I put my coffee? Ugh. Anyway, so I like to look at bigger picture stuff when dealing with this. I don't have any interest in analyzing or this child telling the world how to live. But the role of child soldiers is not new. In fact, I don't know what the root of infantry is, but the word infant is in infantry. Someone please let me know if there's a connection there. But I was always told that the infantry were young, but I don't know if that's true, so don't quote me on that. But infantry sounds very young. And I once did comedy with a former child soldier out of Sudan. This dude, really happy guy, drove an Uber in Minneapolis, did stand up. So people use children in war. It's a psychopath's favorite tool, because non-psychopaths always will feel empathy towards a child. It's in our nature. When you see a child in pain or in a child, let me record this in case it gravels. It's in the nature of the non-psychopath. When they see a human child, you want to help the child at any cost. That's how people typically feel about children. So the psychopath will use the child for their own nefarious purposes. So we have this Greta character. And then we also, and it's not just the left doing this. Pockets of the Future showed a clip from Nayirah, a child proxy warrior who was coached to lie to the UN and to the world that Saddam Hussein was bayoneting babies in their incubators. And that one's extra powerful to me to rewatch because it worked on me. And when a spell works on you and then you rewatch it, it sucks because it hurts. And the amount of death that came from that spell, that's why I take all this stuff very, infantry, a collection of children, yeah. To use our love against us, exactly. All right, so there's a couple great images. The Zen Bear made this. The tactic of the left is always the same. Hide behind a child and scream, how dare you attack a child. I like that, but it's not just the left. I'll show you how the neoconservatives used a child in the same exact way. All right, so who is Greta, first off? Where does she come from? She is a relative of her father. The chemist Svante Arrhenius is the founder of the global warming scam. Her family has been in this business for a long time. He was a colleague of Alfred Nobel, which is basically the Russian Rockefellers, and later, after his death, director of the Nobel Institute, he was a board member for the Swedish Society of Racial Hygiene and a eugenicist. Thunberg is also a known Freemason family. The ancestor of her mother was a natural philosopher, social engineer from Uppsala, who has ties to Bavarian Illuminati founder Adam Weishaupt. In this photo, you can see Louisa Marie Nerber. Her handler, she's a member of one foundation managed by Bono, Bill Gates, George Soros. None of this is surprising at all. They operate like the Chinese Cultural Revolution. They want kids to hate the old for killing the earth. They radicalized the kids against the adults violently. They pushed for totalitarianism. The Chinese Cultural Revolution led to the death of 100 million people. Don't worry about the 100 million people thing. That's just spooky numbers. Just understand the purpose of it. And that this girl is from a background of this. And she is admitted to having autism. She is, I wouldn't call her severely autistic, but she is deep on the spectrum, which is a form of mental retardation. Retardation simply means underdeveloped, which this girl is. She's also a child and a foreigner. And the things she's saying it's a scam. It's a scam for money. And Al Gore figured out how to become a billionaire with carbon credits. And it's not new. And you're not allowed to say the truth in the mainstream media. As we can see, Michael Knowles. Has Fox News cut ties with Michael Knowles after a mentally ill comment? Fox News just apologized today for accurately pointing out that this girl is admittedly mentally ill. And here you see her. Obama met with Greta Thunberg today in D.C., and someone pointed out, I wonder if they discussed the impact on climate change of dropping 26,000 bombs in 2016. A lot of people forget if there is such a thing as a carbon footprint, which is made up by eugenicists, the carbon footprint of war, it would dwarf anything you can imagine. Like the amount of fossil fuel, not from fossils, by the way, but the amount of fuel it would take to get thousands of tanks and F-15s and aircraft carriers and all this stuff. Forget about the explosions and all that. It's mind-blowing how much energy is used in war just to mobilize that amount of tonnage of metal. And mind control, the way it works is through fear. So that when Al Gore, from his private plane, Al Gore, a billionaire who sold the global warming scam and his invented TV station, I can't remember the name of the network, but he sold it to Qatar, which is one of the world's largest oil producers. It's mind-blowing. It truly is mind-blowing to me how people don't see it. But it's because of fear, and that's when I come in. It's not because you're a bad person. It's because you're scared, and you're scared because you don't speak the truth. This is Greta's mother. As you can see by that male arm, that is very suspect, but that is Greta Thunberg's alleged mother. This is her in Moscow doing a dance with obvious Illuminati symbolism, the one-eye symbolism, and her male gymnast arm. But that is the alleged mother of Greta Thunberg. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just giving you the facts. So Greta, when she doesn't have her script, this is her response. Let me show you this. This is very recent. It's Greta at the UN. So when people say stuff like, listen to her, she has something to say to the president, all this stuff, she actually does not factually.
Could you please tell us what kind of message, what you are doing here today, what kind of message would you send by doing this to world leaders? And also can I ask you, do you think it's about time that President Trump would respond to what you have said today?
I think, I'm sorry, what was the first question?
What's the message you would like to send to our leaders by doing what you are doing?
I think what we want to send is, the message we want to send is to say that we have had enough. And anyone else wants to answer that question? I can't speak on behalf of everyone.
Anyone wants to answer about the message to world leaders? Mm-hmm.
What about President Trump? He's here today. Do you think he should respond in any way?
I think maybe you should give some questions to the others as well.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have anything to say. She is a mouthpiece, a trained puppet, an actress with severe mental retardation for an elite group of people who are making literally trillions of dollars with an energy scam called global warming. If you would like to see the I won't be sarcastic. If you would like to see the effects of global warming, here we have unprecedented. This is sarcastic, but whatever. Unprecedented sea level rise in Sydney Harbor over the last 140 years due to massive climate change. Okay, I'm normally not go for sarcasm, but as you can see, in 140 years, the water hasn't went up 1 inch. And some would say, and I've heard this argued from people under mind control, that it's because it's in different areas. Like different parts of the ocean are affected differently. If someone says that, you can show them a glass of water and teach them about the displacement of water, where water would rise and fall as a unit in the whole world. Any water that's connected, if you raise it, the whole thing raises. Of all the world's oceans are all connected. So as you can see here, and also if the ice cubes, if the glaciers were to melt, just like in a glass of water, the sea level does not rise because when ice freezes, if you can use a glass of water to debunk the global warming hoax. Put ice cubes in a glass of water. Put lipstick or something at the line of where the water is and let the ice melt. The line does not change because it's about the displacement. Okay? So there is no sea level rise. It's not happening. It's never happened. This is over 140 years. There isn't 1 inch of sea level rise. And so now the reason I'm addressing this is because it isn't new. I'm now about to show you something that's fairly mind-blowing. This is Meet Severin Suzuki. Severin Suzuki, this is in 1992. Severin Suzuki is my age. So when this was given, I was 12. Here we go. Listen to the children. There we go.
Hello, I'm Severin Suzuki, speaking for ECHO, the Environmental Children's Organization. We're a group of 12 and 13-year-olds trying to make a difference. Vanessa Setti, Morgan Geisler, Michelle Quigg, and me. We've raised all the money to come here ourselves, to come 5,000 miles to tell you adults you must change your ways. Coming up here today, I have no hidden agenda.
Okay, that's everything she's already said is a lie. Her father is David Suzuki, and many Canadians know him. He is a famous scam artist and a propagandist for fake environmental issues. David Suzuki is a Canadian academic, science broadcaster, and environmental activist. Suzuki earned a PhD in zoology from the University of Chicago in 1961. This is his daughter, by the way, and was a professor in the genetics department of the University of British Columbia. David Suzuki has encouraged people to not have children because of the humans' devastating impact on the planet. Of course, David Suzuki has 5 children and a broken marriage. Quotes, "We're in a giant car headed towards a brick wall and everyone's arguing over where they're going to sit. Education has failed in a very serious way to convey the most important lesson science can teach, skepticism." That's very, very true, David. So, as a skeptic myself, I look at 1878 to 2018 of the same exact Sydney Harbor, and I see no change whatsoever in sea level rise. So, by David Suzuki's own quote, I am actually doing what he suggests, which is skepticism. Skepticism of one of the greatest frauds ever committed. David Suzuki. So this is David Suzuki's daughter, 12 years old, same age as me when this was taken, and she is speaking to the UN in almost an identical script that Greta Thunberg used. Of course, they're using a different actress, but it's the same exact scam.
I am fighting for my future.
Okay.
Losing my future is
Just
not...
to let you guys know, she has a future. She's rich. Nothing happened to her. She's still complaining and shaming the world. She's literally shaming the world at 12. And nothing she says is true. Just a little word to the wise. If someone ever tells you that if the first thing someone says is they don't have a hidden agenda, they have a hidden agenda.
like losing an election or a few points on the stock market. I am here to speak for all generations to come.
Well, you don't have that right. You're 12. And then you go to Yale, and then you become a rich shill. All these people work for the UN to push a globalist agenda where everybody eats bugs in an urban environment and doesn't have children. These people get to have children, but not you. She's a demon in disguise. Well, I've looked at her as an adult. I think I know her. I can't confirm or deny that. But she looks very, very familiar to me. All right.
I am here to speak on behalf of the starving children around the world whose cries go unheard.
Is she going against Planned Parenthood and abortion? No. She's extorting the world for profit. Exactly, Okie Bear.
I am here to speak for the countless animals dying across this planet because they have nowhere left to go.
Just to let you guys know, since this speech, the animals have had plenty of places to go.
I am afraid to go out in the sun now because of the holes in our ozone.
Right, that's also a scam. Never happened. She was scared to go out into the sun in 1992 because of the holes in the ozone.
I am afraid to breathe the air because I don't know what chemicals are in it.
She's still breathing the air, and she's fine.
I used to go fishing in Vancouver, my home, with my dad, until just a few years ago we found the fish full of cancers.
That's so dumb, I don't even want to comment on it, but I will. That isn't true.
And now we hear of animals and plants going extinct every day, vanishing forever. In my life, I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles and rainforests full of birds and butterflies. But now I wonder if they
Yeah, you've seen butterflies, all right. It's called the MK Ultra program.
even exist for my children to see.
No, they're all there. Everything that you just described is there. My yard is overrun with eagles, hawks, blue jays, robins, all of it. They're always after my strawberries and my chickens. How dare me?
Did you have to worry of these things when you were my age? All this is
She's now suntanned, married to a fisherman, someone said.
happening before our eyes, and yet we act as if we have all the time we want and all the solutions. I'm only a child, and I don't have all the solutions.
Of course not. You don't have any, you don't even know what's wrong or anything. Your dad is David Suzuki, who has been accused of some pretty nefarious things. This is an atheist geneticist propagandist in Canada. He's hated in Canada, hated. He propped up his daughter to do this as a child soldier, just like Greta Thunberg's mother, as you can see here, mother in quotes, because that's a dude's arm, is propping up her daughter. And this is a child soldier. This is a propaganda child. And it's not just the left. I'll show you the right doing the same thing. And it's not the true right, but the neocon right. All right.
I want you to realize, neither do you. You don't know how to fix the holes in our ozone layer.
Right, because they're not there. It's been 25 years. And these problems aren't real.
You don't know how to bring the salmon back up a dead stream.
Well, I went salmon fishing last week. Plenty of salmon.
Don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct. And you can't bring back the forests that once grew.
Look at that legend. You guys see the legend? He's over there like, dude, this girl sucks. Look at that legend. For those of you just listening, it's just a mustache legend.
The forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it.
Okay, well, you flew there on a private jet, and the whole carbon thing is a scam that isn't even real. It's all invented just for money and power. Her father told Canadians to never have children because humans are destroying the earth, as he proceeded to have 5 in a broken marriage, and he's been accused of some pretty disgusting things. If you're using your daughters like this, how else are you using your daughters, pal?
Here, you may be delegates of your government, business people, organizers, reporters, or politicians, but really, your mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, and all of you are someone's child.
You haven't even listed a real problem yet. And the thing about the David Hoggs and the Greta Thunbergs and the Severin Suzuki's and the Nayirahs is people have this weird thing where they're incapable of criticizing a child. That's why they're used as human shields, and they're used as the proxy warriors of the evil. You're not doing yourself or your children. I'm taking what this little lady is saying here, that I am a father. I am a husband. I am a son. I am an uncle. I am all these things. I am an American. And I am not doing my duty in any of those by listening to a young dummy telling me that they should tax carbon because of non-existing problems.
I'm only a child, yet I know we are all part of a family, 5 billion strong. In fact, 30 million species strong. And borders and governments will never change that.
What she just said makes no sense.
I'm only a child, yet I know we are all in this together and should act as one single world towards one single goal.
You see it? You see it right there? You see the point of this little lady? Globalism. It's always been the same. The 2 goals of the elites are normalizing pedophilia and one world governments. It's all they want. It's all they've ever wanted. It's the goal of the satanic elite. They want everyone to say, we are one. That's why they use this imagery. We are all one. No, we're not. We're not all one. My name is O1. That's weird. I just realized that. They're trying to normalize pedophilia at all times. That's always the goal. You know, they got the homophiles, and now they have the trans, and they're always trying to get it down there. They will never succeed. No, they won't. Of course they won't. They've overreached because the scam doesn't work. I watched this little lady when I was her age in school, and it worked on a lot of kids in my school. We used to get so sad and so broken because of all the species in the ozone layer. I remember that fear. It's not new. There's nothing new under the sun, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a new thing. So don't be a coward and sit there and say, oh, the world's ending. This is the fear industry. Okay, when I was young, I used to have pictures of like whales and Bengal tigers and stuff all over my room. And I used to draw sharks all the time. And I used to weep thinking about how they were all going to die and there was nothing I could do about it. And it made me very, very sad, as it did a lot of people. You know, and they talked about the burning rainforest. I remember I was her age when they first started that one, and then they rebooted that fear recently. It's all nonsense.
In my anger, I am not blind, and in my fear, I am not afraid of telling the world how I feel. In my country, we make so much waste. We buy and throw away, buy and throw away.
So they must hate war, but they don't. Think about the waste of war. I can't imagine anything more wasteful. You know, these people are trying to shame you for driving your car or using a plastic bag. Think about all the energy and all the manpower, the labor, the chemicals that goes into making and exploding a bomb, right? As you can see here, we have Barack Obama, who exploded 26,000 bombs, many of which in Libya in an illegal war that now has the slave trade has returned to Libya, and it was to break the bank of the Libyan government that was a threat to the global currency, the global banking system. 26,000 bombs. What goes into a bomb? And it's very interesting when you really start bringing it all together, because Greta's great-grandfather, who was a colleague of Alfred Nobel invented dynamite. You know, the thing that made Alfred Nobel so rich enough to start this fake scam called the Peace Prize, was he invented a great bomb. And bombs, as we know, spew poison. And when you dismantle a population like that, the waste is profound. And when you explode 26,000 bombs in an area, think about all the species that you kill, all the animals, all the babies. These people are murderers. And fortunately, it's all being shown. A little bit more of this, and then we'll show you the right-wing version.
And throw away, and yet northern countries will not share with the needy. Even when we have more than enough, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to let go of some of our wealth.
Look, hey, check it out. Does no one see the irony? You can see this black leader from Africa wearing a gold watch. Gold watch, ladies and gentlemen. What this little lady is trying to do here is trying to shame Northern European and America and Canada into giving more of its wealth to the third world so that it breaks their economies, and then the one world system can emerge out of the ashes, right? Meanwhile, you can see the leaders of these African countries are not poor. He has a gold watch. What does that tell you? As we listen to what David Suzuki told us to all be skeptical, I'm skeptical that the money would reach his people.
Of our wealth. In Canada, we live the privileged life with plenty of food, water, and shelter. We have watches, bicycles, computers, and television sets.
Yeah. A lot of you do have bicycles. I'm sure a lot of them were stolen by the guy that you just saw with the watch.
This could go on for 2 days. 2 days ago here in Brazil, we were shocked when we spent time with some children living on the streets. This is what one child told us.
Us. I thought you didn't have an agenda, young lady.
I was rich. And if I were, I would give all the street children food.
It's the older you see the spells, the more transparent they are. Because it's back then people were more naive and gullible and trusting because we lived in a more high trust, more beautiful, more symmetrical world. It hadn't been broken by these people as much as it has been now. And listen, there's the odds that this happened is zero. There was no little girl that came up to her in the streets of Rio de Janeiro and said, I wish I was rich because I could then give all the street kids my money. That is her agenda.
And if I were, I would give all the street children food, clothes, medicines, shelter, and love and affection.
None of that happened. Yeah, before the internet. It's like, it's mind-blowing how people can fall for this stuff. And she's playing the role like she's like Guatemala or something. She's Japanese and white. And her father is a multi-millionaire global warming hoax scam artist named David Suzuki, and he's despised in Canada. This is 1992. The Greta phenomenon is nothing new. And to balance things out, I am going to show the neocon version because they do the same thing.
If a child on the streets who has nothing is willing to share, why are we who have everything still so greedy?
That's a multimillionaire. Not that it matters, but it's Agenda 21 exactly, and it's all being used to shame the world into kneeling for, guys, for Satan. It's what it is. It's the subjugation of man in the entire world with a one world government where they permit pedophilia. That's the goal. And I've been saying this for a while now, and I don't sound too crazy anymore now, do I? After you see what your kids are learning in the public schools. New World Order globalists use wars to depopulate the world, then make loans they can never be repaid. In the end, they take ownership and laugh all the way to the nearest Rothschild bank. It's bigger than that. That's just one. Listen.
Can't stop thinking that these are children my own age, that it makes...
By the way, these people would never, ever, ever oppose abortion.
Tremendous difference where you are born. That I could be one of those children living in the favelas of Rio. I could be a child starving in Somalia, or a victim of war.
None of us are that lucky, Severin. You could be, but you weren't, and that's brutal for all of us. Trust me.
In the Middle East, or a beggar in India. I am only a child, yet I know if all the money spent on war was spent on finding environmental answers, ending poverty, and finding treaties, what a wonderful place this earth would be.
She started the whole speech by saying she didn't have an agenda. Yeah, the solution is to homestead, get married, have a lot of children, pray to God, But people like me are the most demonized. People like me that actually have a solution to a fake problem are being just so, because my solution actually works. They want a broken people that are full of shame so that they can be subjugated and enslaved. And this 12-year-old girl, her father, David Suzuki, made her do this.
At school, even in kindergarten, you teach us how to behave in the world. You teach us not to fight with others, to work things out, to respect others, to clean up our mess, not to hurt other creatures.
By the way, she hasn't said one actual problem or one actual solution, except for shame and then to convince governments to give up their wealth. Literally, guys.
Not be greedy.
Not be greedy.
Then why do you go out and do the things you tell us not to do? Do not forget why you are attending these conferences, who you're doing this for.
Any man, look at that guy. Look at that guy. New Zealand's like, lady, I'm just trying to eat a kiwi. Any grown man that allows himself to be shamed by a young girl is not a man. That guy is not enjoying himself.
We are your own children. You are deciding what kind of a world we are growing up in. Parents should be able to comfort their children.
Those Netherlands, you have a very similar relationship there as to Breaking Bad, where you have the older provider and then, of course, the young twink. And they're just trying to blend in. Just being like, if we listen to this crazy idiot, we can go back to dumpster pumping.
By saying, everything's going to be all right. It's not the end of the world. And we're doing the best we can.
Japan is like, oh, your dad went with a round eye. You are a disgrace.
I don't think you can say that to us anymore.
We can.
Are we even on your list of priorities?
No.
My dad always says, you are what you do, not what you say. Well,
your dad is a broken marriage scam artist.
You do makes me cry at night. You grown up
No,
say you
what makes you cry at night is horrible parenting, a broken marriage, and the fact your father's a liar and a thief.
us. But I challenge you, please, make your actions reflect your words. Thank you.
Look at those two brothers. They're like, dude, these green green suits, yeah. All right, so now let's check out the right-wing version. Because stop saying that this is a left-wing, right-wing thing. It's not. It's about evil. Listen to this.
John Porter.
Nayirah.
I got this video from Pockets of the Future. Great guy.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, my name is Nayirah, and I just came out of Kuwait.
By the way, this is all a lie, and she's the daughter of the ambassador from Kuwait, and this was all scripted and set up so that we would go to war on behalf of Kuwait's interests.
My mother and I were in Kuwait on August 2nd for a peaceful summer holiday. My older sister had a baby on July
Who goes to Kuwait for a peaceful summer holiday? How about the Netherlands? Those two sodomites probably leave you guys alone.
29th, and we wanted to spend some time in Kuwait with her.
She's really upset.
I only pray that none of my 10th grade classmates had a summer vacation like I did.
By the way, this is all fake. And now that you see it, it's insane. It's like even Wikipedia admits that this is all fake.
Like all these other American kids.
Oh, this is Paul Romano definitely reporting for the apocalypse. I got this video from Pockets of the Future. It's my third plug, by the way, not lifting anyone's videos.
Who are going to a foreign country.
Yeah.
Sometimes that could be an adult. That could grow up quickly.
She was coached to cry.
What I saw happen to the children of Kuwait and to my country has changed my life forever. It has changed the life of all Kuwaitis, young and old. We are children.
Just understand, this is why I'm so hard on the David Hoggs and the Gretards and all these people, because they'll keep doing it if it works. Okay? So all you people saying, I'm just sad for her. It's child abuse, this poor girl. No, if you do that, they'll keep doing it because it means it works. The only answer to using human shields is to shoot the human shield. And I know that sounds cold, but the coldest response is to allow this to work on any level or to feel any sympathy for the children because you will make more of them. What's happened to these girls is bad. They have been robbed. You know, these girls didn't have childhoods. They are child soldiers. Just like in the Sudan with the Lost Boys with that dude I knew in Minneapolis. You know, they used to get them all jacked up on speed and stuff and then go shoot everybody when they were 9. Right? It's like, this is evil stuff. But the worst response is to be like, oh, poor girl, poor girl. No. That girl, her testimony started a war that was only in the interest of the bankers and the ruling elite that killed more children than you've ever met in your life and ever will. The stench you can still smell of death. And so if you have any sympathy whatsoever for these people, they win.
My sister...
Oh, by the way, you can tell she's lying because she wanted a peaceful summer holiday in Kuwait. Someone pointed out it's 60 degrees Celsius in the summer in Kuwait.
5-day-old nephew traveled across the desert to safety. There was no milk available for the baby in Kuwait. They barely escaped when their car was stuck in the desert sand, and help came from Saudi Arabia. I stayed behind and wanted to do something for my country.
Rhonda just said, but she was indoctrinated to believe what she's saying. I feel bad for her. You're now banned. Banned for life, Rhonda. I just told you. If you feel bad for her, and then you say that, that's the worst possible thing you can do. You're not allowed on this channel if you express sympathy for child soldiers. Because that's the point of them, and you will create a market so more people use them. Stop feeding the rat. That's how we got rid of a rat in our garage, by the way. I had a blowgun. I sat there for hours trying to shoot it with the blowgun. And I did. Want to know what we did? We put any food type item in strong, like sealed containers, and no more rat. Starve the rat, guys. Your sympathy doesn't. This girl's grown up. She's a grown up billionaire. Okay? She's fine. If you express any empathy whatsoever for child soldiers, they will get more child soldiers. Because the entire point of having a young girl say this instead of a grown up is so that morons say, oh, I feel for her. Want to know what happens then? Another war is started. Or global control of all of our energy infrastructure is taken over. It's you are not being strong by doing that. You're not being a good human when you do that. You think you are, but you're not.
The second week after the invasion, I volunteered at the Al-Adan hospital with 12 other women who wanted to help as well. I was the youngest volunteer.
She's really upset. This is very believable. She's a good...
Yeah.
Coming to the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators.
Okay, this is all fake. All.
Took the incubators and left the children.
Think about how evil it is. She's saying that they took the babies out of the incubators and they bayoneted all the babies, right? Makes you think about other genocides that we've been trained to believe, right? Because what it does is it make you feel, you hate the Iraqis when you hear this. Listen.
The Cold War.
All right, so she just said, and guys, Elie Wiesel did the same thing. He admitted his book Night was fake. He admitted it. Okay, let's look that up. Let's look up this incident on Wikipedia, which is the most deep state fake thing in the world. Nayirah. 1 second. Let me read to you about this. The Nayirah testimony. Nayirah. The Nayirah testimony was a false testimony given before the Congressional Human Rights Caucus on October 10th, 1990 by a 15-year-old girl who provided only her first name, Nayirah. The testimony was widely publicized and was cited numerous times by United States Senators and President George H.W. Bush in the rationale to back Kuwait in the Gulf War. In 1992, it was revealed Nayirah's last name was al-Sabah, and that she was the daughter of Saud al-Sabah, the Kuwaiti ambassador to the United States. Furthermore, it was revealed that her testimony was organized as part of the Citizens for a Free Kuwait public relations campaign, which was run by the American public relations firm Hill and Knowlton. We will take a look at that in a second. For the Kuwaiti government, following this, al-Sabah's testimony has come to be regarded as a classic example of modern atrocity propaganda. In her emotional testimony, Nayirah stated that after the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, she had witnessed Iraqi soldiers take babies out of incubators in a Kuwaiti hospital, take the incubators, and leave the babies to die. Her story was initially corroborated by Amnesty International, a British NGO which published several independent reports about the killings and testimony from evacuees. Following the liberation of Kuwait, reporters were given access to the country. An ABC report found that patients, including premature babies, did die when many of Kuwaiti nurses and doctors fled, but Iraqi troops almost certainly had not stolen hospital incubators and left Kuwaiti babies to die. Amnesty International reacted by issuing a correction, with Executive Order John Healey subsequently accused the Bush administration of opportunistic manipulation of the international human rights movement. Okay, so what that means is that girl was lying. Greta is lying. Suzuki is lying. They're using child soldiers. And for those of you that say, oh, I feel bad for these children, if you had actual skepticism and looked at these people for what they're doing, why is a 15-year-old girl talking to grown men? Why is a 12-year-old autist talking to grown men? Why? Because it's a manipulation. It's to use your empathy against your own family's and nation's interests. And so the worst thing you can do is say, I'm feeling angry. That's not good. Don't get angry. Don't get angry. It's all done. The people are all dead. They're all dead. You know, and it's about moving forward. Unless you speak the truth now, you can't move forward. This isn't about regret. I believe this stuff. When I was a kid, I thought the brain forests were burning down. I was very depressed, night terrors all the time. I believed in the Iraq War when it was first presented to me. It's all lies. And a lot of people have a hard time with that because they don't want to be seen as a fool. You're a fool if you don't admit what is wrong. The Iraqi genocide. It was genocide. There's currently genocide in America. It's called Planned Parenthood, and it's feminism. You know, they're manipulating women into not having kids and aborting their own kids. It's by the UN's definition, it is genocide. That's why you keep hearing, what's next? Genocide! The reason they're so paranoid is because they're committing it right now. Like right now, we're in this. And the way out is honest speech. They justify it as a means to the end being regime change. Right. And think about how evil you have to be able to coach a young girl to cry about a fake atrocity. If you have empathy for any of these people, you're a liability. You're not a good man. You're not a strong man. You might be a good man at some level, but you're very, very useless. If you quiver and shake and listen to the lies of these people, and then you sacrifice your family and your nation's interests because of a lying, crying child, you are a useless man. What's next? Incubators? So again, this is Greta without a speech. And this is a very, very powerful clip because it shows that they never had anything to say in the first place. It's all a script. And this is right there for you to watch.
Could you please tell us what kind of message, what you are doing here today, what kind of message would you send by doing this to world leaders? And also can I ask you, do you think it's about time that President Trump would respond to what you have said today?
I think. I'm sorry, what was the first question?
What's the message you would like to
Yeah.
send to our leaders
Yeah.
by doing what you are doing?
I think what we want to send is, the message we want to send is to say that we have had enough. And anyone else wants to answer that question? I can't speak on behalf of everyone.
Anyone wants to answer about the message to world leaders? Mm-hmm.
What about President Trump? He's here today. Do you think he should respond in any way?
I think maybe you should give some questions to the others as well.
Okay, it's all fake. So, and this is her mom, allegedly. That's a dude's arm. This is her meeting with Barack Obama. I wonder if they discussed the impact on climate change of dropping 26,000 bombs in 2016. That little bike thief, Barack Obama. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I want to talk about today. And of course, Severin Suzuki from 1992 delivering an almost identical speech to Greta Thunberg. Her father is David Suzuki. They're all related. They're all in a scam. And they feed on the empathy of morons. And empathy is bad. Compassion is good. Empathy, bad. Empathy is a weakness. And women have a lot of empathy. That's why the globalists keep trying to put women in positions of leadership. Because if a woman is the head of a nation, you can take her emotions and mess with them so much easier than men's. I have less empathy than Amy. I do. I don't feel the pain of animals like Amy does. I don't feel the pain of our children like Amy does. I just don't. Women have more empathy than men. Compassion for your fellow man, for your neighbor, for animals. Compassion. I'm all about compassion, but empathy is a weapon. And men that feel too much empathy, that they lactate and they always have their mouth open, it's like They are liabilities. A wall is only as strong as the weakest man with a key. All right. Owen, may I please be verified as Green Chili Bear? Welcome. No substitute for a good monarch. All right, let's open some mail. I think you're missing the point. Sympathy versus empathy. Empathy is you feel the emotions of others. Like, I feel your pain. Bill Clinton's famous line. That's empathy. Bad. You know, women do it all the time. You can see when a woman's describing like a broken arm, you'll see like women around that woman start doing this with their arm because they literally feel the pain of others. That is the worst quality you can have in any type of leadership position because all you need is a 12-year-old and some tears, and before you know it, you're bombing a country and you're killing all the kids. It's not good. There's a false myth that empathy is somehow good. That's like, I feel their pain. Oh, and everyone's like, oh, great, good for you. No, that means you're weak. You can't help someone, a drowning man. Let's say there's a drowning man. He's like, and all you do is go, oh, I'm drowning too. The drowning man's like, help me. And it's like, oh, I'm also drowning now. No, you need someone who, do you want a surgeon? Do you want a surgeon to feel your pain? No. That's why women are more empathetic. They just are because of dealing with little kids. Pathos equals empathy. Right. And logos is logic. Right. Empathy. That's why it's called pathological. Pathos. Pathos is emotion. Logos, the word, logic. Pathological. If someone's pathological, it means they're fueled by empathy. It's really bad. The empathetic lifeguard is a hilarious idea. Where someone's drowning, it's like, I'm drowning too now. And so they try to teach us to be emotional. Exactly. They try and make men women so that they don't do what's necessary. Like if you have an animal in your herd that is contagious, listen, there could come a time when I have to just kill one of my goats that I really like, that I've named, that I milk twice a day. I milk all my goats twice every day. I have a whole herd of them. I've grown quite fond of them. They're really cool. I care so much about them that I just bought them this like new feeder that's like, it was like $400. Just because I knew they'd like it. Like I really like my goats. I'm building a new goat field because they'll like it more. It's a higher elevation. They can see more. If one of them has a highly contagious deadly disease and the others don't, I have to be able to kill that goat without even hesitating. Or else I would be a weak man. Because guess what? My empathy and be like, oh no, I can't hurt Betsy. I can't hurt Betsy. Well, guess what? Now they're all dead. Oh, I can't criticize a child. Guess what? Now no one has guns. Oh, David Hogg's a victim. Oh, no. Well, now no one has any guns. Now there's another genocide. Oh, but he's a victim. He's just a child. No. He's trying to take your God-given right to defend your family. I don't care if that's a puppy with a cupcake on his head. Smash it. Because these child soldiers are used by evil. If it works, they will do more. Because it's supply and demand. Burn the field. You got to be able to burn the field. I would probably weep if I had to kill some of these goats. But I would do it without hesitation. I know I wouldn't weep at the time, but later I would think about Betsy or something, I don't have a gun. Well, then you're not super useful, bud. Aren't you describing sympathy? Real question. No. Being sympathetic is to be like, oh, I've also had a broken foot. Here, take my crutch. I have sympathy for you. That's great. That's communal. Oh, you have a broken foot. Oh, I now feel my foot is broken too. Let's all just sit here and weep. Cartels use children as foot soldiers to this day because it works. Anytime there's 1 minute of sympathy, that's why when someone was talking about, oh, I never hit a woman, and Vox Day was like, you can't think like that. And of course, we're not talking about like our wives. We're talking about like if someone attacks you with a knife and you stop and think, oh, if it's a woman, I can't hit a woman. It's like, then you're dead. And now your family doesn't have anyone to provide for. Or like no one's providing for your family. How's your virtue now? Well, how about this for virtue? Someone tries to take your rights, your ability to provide, to protect, to teach. They're your enemy. I don't care if it's a pug holding a cupcake. That's reality. And if you look at the David Suzuki's daughters and all these people, they all ended up fine. They walked outside even with the holes in the ozone layer, and they're all now multi-millionaire UN puppets. That's how you learn these things. You look for patterns throughout history. One of the reasons the title conspiracy theorist is so demonized is because many of these patterns lead right to the people who are in control of this. And so they don't want people to think for themselves. Pattern recognition will show exactly how the fear complex works. The fear industrial complex. It's very, very obvious if you recognize patterns. Severin Suzuki gave an almost identical speech to Greta Thunberg. If you now match what she said in her speech with Greta Thunberg, you can look at Severin's speech and say, none of it came true. It was all to profit with power and money, an elite small group of people that she was propped up by, including her father. And now they still do it without any apology or hesitation because that's their business. And if you fall for it again, you are weak. That's why people like me are demonized. We're called conspiracy theorists because we see conspiracies and then we theorize about them. It's called pattern recognition. When you look at the Time magazine covers and how they use propaganda to push women out of the home and into the battlefield, it's mind-blowing. In the 70s, it's like, oh, the housewife blues, and then who's going to raise the kids, and then, the role of women in war, and then all these proud pictures of women like we can do it in war. They're just trying to make more soldiers, guys. They're taking your mom and your wife, and they're trying to make her another soldier. They're trying to make children soldiers and women soldiers. And guess what? A nation and a civilization with honor, with God, with truth, does not put their children and women in that position. There's no empathy. Empathy will bring you to that place. But there's no love in that. There's no compassion. It's just unbridled emotion. The globalists exploit your empathy. Right. No, just psychopaths do. This is a basic street scam, guys. Remember in Silence of the Lamb? When he's like Silence of the Lambs, when he's just trying to like get help to put his couch in his van. And that girl helps him, and then he kidnaps her and kills her. It's the same thing. I mean, whether you're on the street or whether you're talking about global governance, it's the same scam. That's why you need a code. You need rules. You need God. You need truth, or else you're done. Because if someone can come and whisper any of this nonsense into your ear and you just go, but Nayirah, she saw the babies being butchered. No, she didn't. She's a liar. And if you don't learn your lesson from this and say, next time I see a child at the UN or at a human rights thing and they're pushing global control of energy, even though everything around me says that there is no global warming, there is no sea level rise. In Sydney Harbor over the last 140 years due to massive climate change. I know this is sarcastic. I didn't make this one. Sarcasm I'm not a big fan of, but there is no sea level rise. It's not real. Barack Obama, who just met with Greta, just bought a giant mansion right on the water. Giant. He knows there's no sea level rise. They all know. They all know. Just to drive it home, you know what? I'm going to play Mountain Bears thing. Watch this. And then I'll open a couple things and then I'm out of here. The tour is starting very soon. And Coddington and Mac, the director, are coming to my house right now, actually. It's going to be great. By the way, unauthorized.tv, subscribe, do the right thing, support the good guys. Unbearablesmerchandise.com if you want to get sweet t-shirts. Yeah, hit the Rogans up and share this. Share this, spread it, spread it, spread it, spread it. I'm not taking it down. All right, so here's the global warming scam. I take down most of them, and they're only at unauthorized because if not, my channel gets deleted. But this one, staying up. Every now and then I'll do one that I say, is it worth my channel getting deleted? Yes. I want as many people to see this as humanly possible because fear is ruining their good time. I'm all about having a good time. No one's having more fun than me. No one's having more fun than the Bears. So the way to help other people have a really good time is you alleviate their fake fears. Because Severin Suzuki walks around under the sun, and guess what? The hairspray didn't destroy the ozone layer because she, like her father, were little liars. There we go. This was audio taken from something hilarious. All right, this is, just check this out. It's only 3 minutes, and then we'll.
Dan, you got the money. Okay.
I got a few, Bob, yeah.
Okay. You support Trump? You do?
Yep.
Okay.
I was one of the first endorsers, public
Okay.
endorsers of President Trump.
What are you guys going to do when our ocean level rises?
Thank you for asking that question. I have the answer, though.
No, let me finish.
I have the answer.
Let me finish.
Well, thank you for the question. Yeah. Okay.
For the first time on Earth, we're changing the gas.
Now you're full of shit. Sit down. I'm going to answer you. I'm going to answer. Just shut up and sit down.
No way.
Sit down.
No. I got to finish my question.
I'm going to answer global warming.
All right, finish the question. Then answer.
It's changing on Earth, and it's changing to CO2. What do you people with the money? What are you doing about this? Because
I'm going to tell you right now.
No, I've got children. I've got 21, 23-year-old children. And what's their future with you people with money?
If that were really true, what you believe, and let's just for a moment say that it is true. That means that the best scenario vis-a-vis global warming is about 10 feet raise in water. That's the best scenario over the next 40, 50 years. That's the best scenario. The worst scenario is about 100 feet. But let's just take the 10 feet. If the water on the planet is going to rise up 10 feet, that means the southern part of the United States is gone. England is gone. Most of Europe is gone. And I can go, most of Central America is gone. Okay. If that's the case, let's just take Florida, for example, which is one of the fastest growing beachfront condominiums on the planet. In the prospectus, when you invest, there should be, in the footnotes, if global warming is for real, they won't put it that way, global warming happens and water rises 10 feet, this investment you made is fuck all. Not one single investment prospectus written since 2000, this century, has alluded to global warming. Not one motherfucker. If it were really true, the banks wouldn't invest. The banks wouldn't finance. Not one motherfucking condominium. So the people that have the money, and I'm jealous of the vice president, Gore, which Sally and I rode on a plane from South America with a few years ago. I am jealous he came up with a scam before I did. Because the financial institutions, the banks of this world know it's not going to happen. Otherwise, you couldn't get a goddamn loan in London. You know those 30, 40-year mortgages? The world will be over by then. Is Barclays Bank going to give you a motherfucking loan? With the greatest respect, ma'am, it's the greatest fraud that's been perpetrated on mankind this century.
Nice. All right, guys. Let's open a little mail and I'll play you a little music. How's that sound? The profanity doesn't do much for me. No problem. Now you can go head over to the Daily Wire because you're now banned for life. How's that for empathy? You know, the profanity just doesn't do much for me. Well, no problem. I have a solution for you. You're never allowed to talk here ever again. And do I feel bad about it? Do I have empathy for you? Zero. Not even one little tiny bit. I'm already happier that you're gone. How crazy, how cool is that? Like, I was having a good day, but now that that guy's gone, my day's got even better. Even better now that he's gone. Because I don't like weak men. They freak me out. I find them extremely creepy. Hello, Big Bear. Because the only reason a weak man is still alive is because they're a thief. Thanks for the thought-provoking streams. A nice bear friend recently introduced me to your community, and I have appreciated the dialogue. I've been dreaming of homesteading for many years and hope to make it reality in the near future. Keep crushing, and I hope you enjoy this small rooster of appreciation. Kashka Bear. Kashka Bear drew me a rooster. That was very sweet of you. Welcome to the Unbearables. I'll just do a quick thing here, and then I'll play you guys some music. Despair merchants get strung up in the chat room. Well, I just ban them all. You know? If you want to bring despair, why don't you head right over to the Daily Wire? I'm serious. They need the numbers. They're getting crushed. Right now, on my backup channel, with no ability to tweet or go on Facebook, there's 3,166 people, fully banned, shadow banned on Instagram, all of it. Ben Shapiro spends literally millions of dollars in advertising and has a giant studio, and he doesn't pull these numbers. So, out of respect for Ben, why don't you go over to the Daily Wire and help his numbers, because he's getting crushed. You know, he's not even a gatekeeper anymore. And so, who knows what they're going to do to him? Because once a gatekeeper isn't good at keeping gates, you know, they put him out to pasture, if you know what I mean. So, if you have any problem whatsoever with the way I handle my stream or the way my moderators or the Bears act, well, then that's not a problem at all for any of us. Why don't you go as quick as you can, head on over to the Daily Wire and buy one of their stupid little grabblers. Or what are they called? Grumblers? Tumblers. And help support them because they're trying to start another war. Dear Big Bear, my name is Chris Bones Bear. I'm 34 years old and grew up in the same Colorado mountain town that Trey Parker, South Park creator, grew up in. It was great. We had land and I spent a lot of time climbing rocks, jumping on the trampoline, and building snowboard jumps out of dirt so we could be ready for winter. My parents are great. My dad was a house builder but started delivering for FedEx when I was conceived for the insurance. Good for him. Smart. He still bought shitty houses that we would move into and fix them up, sell them for the next shitty house and scrolling away the profits. I learned how to work and build stuff easily. I was a good artist. I went to college for it, but quickly switched majors because I realized art school was a ripoff. I got 2 degrees, one in anthropology and the other in biology in 2007. Since graduating, I've worked various archaeology projects, plant animal surveys, and laboratory stuff. I've been able to travel around and live out of shitty motels that the jobs put us up at. The work was mostly outdoors in very remote areas, so I got to see a bunch of cool landscapes. All the coworkers I've had who consider themselves scientists have all been closed-minded, biased, not very intelligent, and to a large degree, alcoholics. Yeah, usually they do become alcoholics because it's all a lie. It's hard not to drink every night living in a town like Vernal, Utah for a few months. I fell into the boozing thing, but have stopped for good. Good. Yeah, lies make you really want to drink. I was an early adapter of podcasts since I usually spent the colder months in labs doing analysis, mapping, and report writing. I love the comedy ones because I've always loved comedy and all the road comics live similar lives to me. Sweet. In 2012, I started doing stand-up in Denver and have done it on and off ever since. I never jumped in fully because the working comedians I met seem to have very depressing lives. I still love writing jokes and feel good about being comfortable on stage. I got really into conspiracies while spending time alone in motels. Me too, my friend. What's funny is that my mom got into researching them too independently of my interest. We've both researched the same conclusions that satanic worship is a huge part of most of it. My mom was raised Catholic and had a foundation to start reading the Bible and became born again. It took me longer because I was raised with nothing and had no interest in God when I was young. My initial interest in anything spiritual came from the large amounts of psychedelics and hippie girls I was experiencing early in college. Early Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell were my spiritual mentors as I viewed things from neo-shamanic energy lens. I lost interest in psychedelics and these comedy podcasters right around the time I found your podcast. I liked that it was about joke writing, but I took the ride with you on the whole conservative Crowder period. I never liked Crowder, but gave him the benefit of the doubt because you liked him. Sorry about that. I'm very pleased you talk about conspiracy stuff, about the satanic influence that exists. Knowing about rampant Satanism made me decide to become Christian. Anyway, you're crushing. I hope you like my drawing of a wizard getting skull fucked by lightning. Much love, Chris. Let's take a look at this. That is awesome. Check this out, everybody. Chris rules. Chris is someone we want over here with the unbearables. The people that said, I don't approve of your language. Well, that's no problem. Go over to Daily Wire and then go to birchgold.com and then also go to Bull and Branch. That's Bull and Branch. Promo code Ben. That's promo code Ben. Every time you do it, they get to buy another bomb. This channel is legendary. Oh, thank you. Mega church pastors drink a lot. Yeah. I wasn't capable of not drinking for a while. Because here's the irony about the empathy thing. I naturally have high empathy. That's why I've had to learn how to not go with it. Like, I feel a lot of what other people feel and say. And like, my uncle used to say I have huge antenna. Where I can, but I've learned to turn off the emotional side of it and just pay attention to the pattern recognition. Vox Day's theme song is way better than Shapiru's. Yes. Shapiru's theme song is just a squirrel with an electric guitar going wah, wah. Same here. Yeah, no, that's the irony. When I talk about empathy, it's not because I don't have it. It's because I recognize it as an extreme weakness. Want to know what else is an extreme weakness of mine? The fact I like nothing more than having 8 beers with bears and then high-fiving the night away. Guess what? I don't do that anymore. All right. You understand people in their very core. Right. That comes from a sense of empathy. But if you let yourself feel the emotions, they can treat you like a puppeteer. All right, here's a little bit, just a little sneak peek here. Oh, false flag on the play. There's an intentional pounding. Oh, the shotgun offense has now been outlawed. The Detroit Zions have stopped the Tampa Bay Bolsheviks. Oh, everyone's being charged with a hate crime. Here come the Cleveland Brown shirts and everyone's dead. Cheerleaders are forming a big pyramid scheme. There's the Eye of Horrors right there. Steven Crowder lines up as a tight end. Oh, now he's a wide receiver because we got Glenn Beck on the field. The Cleveland Sackler family looking to hide their money. There's a Bitcoin toss. No one can see the coin except for one autistic kid in the stands. Here comes the Cleveland Brown shirts. Everyone's dead again. Welcome to the Grabler Football League, where everyone loses. Here comes Joe Biden. He's smelling a little girl's hair. No one seems to notice, though. Here comes the Clintons. Oh, everyone in their section has now committed suicide. Everyone's dead. Dropping back. Oh, it's a Hail Satan. It's a Hail Satan caught in the war zone. Looks like we're going back to war, everybody. The Pittsburgh pedos flagged for grooming. Oh, they're using an actual coin toss here. They're throwing it in the air. Oh, 9 grabblers just jumped on it. Ben Shapiro. Oh, his hands are too greasy. Oh, here comes Joe Rogan doing the little quarterback sneak. Oh, he just gave the other team 2 points. He's happy to do it, Tom. Welcome to Grappler Football League. The only game where everybody loses. Oh, the Freemasons are taking a knee at the 33-yard line. No one knows why. Oh, Kennedy just took a shot to the head. Time to blitz Vietnam. Oh, the New York 9/11 jets have just hit the towers. Nice. And if you have a problem with any of this, just go ahead and just go over to the Daily Wire. The music is exactly how I hear the information. Yep. Love the piano. Yeah, the piano adds a lot to it. The Baltimore tax havens have teamed up with the Green Bay Sackler family, looking to hide some money, Tom. Here comes another war, started by Ben Shapiro. Oh, Cleveland Brown shirts are coming in to sweep up. Hate crime. Looks like everyone owes Israel money again. Grappler Football League. The only game where everyone always loses. Every time. It's first and gold. Shekel defense. Shotgun formation. Oh, shotguns have now been banned because of a false flag. False flag on the plate. And everyone's dead. Again. But the stadium is too drunk to notice. Oh, they're all being carted off into a gulag. Looks like it's gulag night here. Brown shirts are looking good this season. No one saw them coming. Outstanding, thank you. Yeah, jokes take a long time to work. The Minnesota bike thieves, that's a good one. No, but we're keeping it all with the elites. It's going to be like the Glenn Becks, the Freemasons, you know, the Grabblers, all the Grabblers. Yeah. Here comes the Saudi Arabian royal family. This is so funny to me. Did you hear Suzuki's 2012 speech? Crazy? No, I don't care anymore. I already covered it. I covered it so much. It's 4th and inches. Here comes Joe Rogan because he's exactly inches. Hail Moloch instead of Hail Mary. Well, I was doing Hail Satan, but I guess Hail Moloch. The Washington Skinflints. Well, I was going to say the Washington Reptilians. Torch and pitch. All right. So, what do you guys want me to play? I'm going to get out of here. Oh, and do you have a perfect pitch or relative pitch? Relative pitch. I don't have perfect pitch. I have relative pitch though, because again, I have extremely high pattern recognition. And when I tell people that, they go, "Have some humility." I'm like, well, if I didn't realize that, I would get really mad at a lot of people for being really bad at everything. Because it would be on purpose. 4th and a Rogan. What's a Rogan time? It's a Chinaman's limb. 3.33 inches. Oh, we set a bunch of threes. Here comes the Freemasons. Oh, false flag on the play. Everyone's dead again. Welcome to Grappler Football League. The only game where everyone loses every time. Alex Jones 8 Mile. Well, I've been working on that one. Yo. His neck is sweaty. Knees weak. Nickels heavy. He's got trans pornos on his phone already. He's nervous. But on the surface, he looks really crazy. Like legit crazy. He's a piece of shit. Los Angeles Man versus Portland County. All right, I'll just play you guys 2 songs that I'm out. These are 2 of the songs I'm playing on the tour. This is a song about a rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Ain't found a way to cock him yet. NASA's lies get no respect. And screaming at the sun just got him nowhere. All the hens are way deep in debt. Rooster knows he's no one's pet. Oh God, won't you hear his cock-a-doodle-doo, yeah. Yeah, they've come for Red the Rooster. Oh yeah. You know he ain't gonna lie. No, no, no. You know he ain't gonna lie. Knows the ducks are all boomer plants. They sold out for their fancy pants. Seems every egg gets taken somewhere. Won't drink water with fluoride. Survived a Clinton suicide. Oh God, won't you hear his cock-a-doodle-doo, yeah. Yeah, they've come for Red the Rooster. Oh yeah. Only rooster who can fly, yeah. He sees those chemtrails in the sky, yeah. Ain't gonna become your stir fry, no, no. Cock-a-doodle don't. Alright, so that's called Red Pill Rooster. Judging by the comments, it's a big hit. Alright, and then this one, it's an oldie but a goodie. I just really focused on it because I wrote this a while ago with the help of the Bears. But now they're actually making a 007 is actually a female now. Because the way comedy works is every time I joke about something, it becomes real in like a year. Why am I timed out? New to channel, what's up? You weren't timed out, but now you're banned for life. Shouldn't have ran your mouth, dogs at play. All right, here's a song called Jane Bond. Instead of 007, she'd be 007 cents on the dollar. She likes her Appletini shaken, not stirred, but blacks out if she forgets dinner. She's a lethal secret agent, but has a hard time opening up a jar of pickles. She's great with her gun, but when she kills a guy, she always cries just a little. Empathy. 2, 3, 4. She's Bond, Jane Bond, but she's open to hyphenation. She's Bond, Jane Bond, and really, 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 really needs a vacation. She's Bond, Jane Bond, pretty face but insecure about her body. She's Bond, Jane Bond, not allowed to drive when the mission's in Saudi. Years karate, but loses every time she has to fight an actual male. It was What's the next line? Hang on. It's real. It is. Oh, yeah. She always hits her target, but stays too long if there's a sale. Closes her eyes and screams when she's in a car chase. Doesn't run from anything, except of course carbohydrates. I'm totally keto now. She's Bond, Jane Bond. Took off some days for cramping. She's Bond, Jane Bond. Bad guys can't monologue cause she won't stop talking. She's Bond, Jane Bond. Gets really mad if you forget her birthday. She's Bond, Jane Bond. And just hashtag she's having a bad Monday. And she sucks at her job. Killed a lot of innocent people. Too much empathy. All right, I'm going to land this plane. So, for those of you that didn't get tickets to my tour, obviously you're missing out. You're missing out bad. I mean, just Grabbler Football League alone may be one of the funniest things anyone's ever seen. And it's not because I'm so great. It's because I actually listen to the Bears. Do you know how many comedians just sit in their dumb little motels and just whack off to pornos, drink, and write jokes that they think everyone likes? The funniest line in that entire song was not written by me. Several of them. The funniest line for me was, bad guys can't monologue because she won't stop talking. I didn't write that. The Bears did. In Hollywood, comedians will just hire a bunch of grabblers that all say, make fun of bagels. I listen to the people that actually come to the shows. So what's the result? The shows are fucking awesome. All right. Literally shaken, not stirred. That's a good ad. She likes her Appletini, literally shaken, not stirred. Literally shaken, not stirred. I don't know if I can do it. I'm broke. It's fine. That's why I do these for free every day. You're fine. I'm not trying to exploit you. Come to Alaska, please. Maybe. I'm starting to really dig Alaska. Thanks, Big Bear, for another pleasant treat. Anytime, Maniac Bear. I'm working on a drawing to give you, BB. I'll see you in Sandpoint. Love it, JoJo. Love it. Bagel jokes are like, you want to know what the people really want to hear again? About how they hate their mothers and bagels are great. Oh, what's next? Genocide? That's the typical writer's room in all of Hollywood. You want to know what people really want to hear about? Oh, can I touch your wiener? No, that's a room full of degenerated perverts that I want nothing to do with ever again. Grabbler Football League, the funniest thing I've ever heard. Too bad. Want to know why it's so funny? Because too bad only those awake. No, it's funny to everybody. And want to know how I know when something's a real home run? Is when tons of people get involved in the theme. I didn't write any of that. I started the idea of it, on one of the live streams I was riffing about Grabbler Football, where it's like, it's Bench Peters on the plate. Like, the original one, Mountain Bear might add somewhere. But the original one I was riffing, but the funniest ones, something's a crusher when tons of people start writing you about this. Intentional pounding, didn't write that. I wrote nickel defense. Someone wrote shekel defense. Hysterical, did not write that. I wrote Freemasons take a knee at the 33-yard line. I didn't write Kennedy took a shot to the helmet, time to blitz Vietnam. Someone emailed me that. Clintons are taking their seat. The whole section mysteriously killed themselves. I can't remember who wrote that. I might have. I don't remember, though. Cheerleaders pyramid scheme. I didn't write that. See, it's like when you're in a community where everybody's sitting around making fun of something, that's when I know it's gold. Because it's like Green Bay Sacklers. I didn't write that. Bitcoin toss. I didn't write that. I did write the only one autistic kid in the stands can see the Bitcoin. But time to blitz Vietnam. Yeah, exactly. It's like that's when you know something's good. is when everybody's involved. The Tampa Bay cuck and queers donate their score to the Seattle Warhawks, and for their trouble, they're all killed by the Cleveland Brown shirts. Illuminati refs sporting their black and white checkers. False flag in favor of the New York 9/11 Jets. See, it's just, it never ends. And once you have something where everyone can get involved, like so many people can hear that and they're like, they just start thinking of stuff. That's when you hit that's when you know something's good. You know, one of the bits I'm doing in the tour is I'm doing a bit about goats, and I'm like, yeah, do goat bits now so that Dave Chappelle can't steal them. Because I like highly specific jokes because it's less likely that I'm stolen from, because objectively speaking, I'm one of the most stolen from comics there is, because I'm so prolific and so blackballed that people think they can get away with it. So my new thing is I'm writing jokes that if someone steals it, it's just absurd. You know, like I'm going to write jokes about like owning goats. Sorry, Chappelle, you can't have that one because you got to own goats. And I know you don't. All you do is own other people's bikes. The Washington foreskins, that's funny. Who steals from you? I don't know. Why don't you go check out the Daily Wire? Anyone want to guess where that guy is now? Banned for life. I don't like new people. If you don't know about the Dave Chappelle saga or the Lonely Island saga or the deeper bit that other, I can't remember the guy's name, Drabler. That's just from like the last couple months. Like if you don't know about any of that stuff, you're not welcome here. Like you're coming in too late. Like I don't need new people. I sold out a fucking airplane hangar. So it's like, I like my spot. I like where I'm at. I'm already getting a little, like I like being niche. I really do. I never want to be like the face of comedy because then the grabblers come out. And listen, I can deal with the grabblers, but I don't want to have to deal with the grabblers. You know, then they'll all come out and be like, oh, well, the Holocaust happened, so you got to give us billions and billions and billions of dollars. Oh, I just don't even want to be on their fucking radar. Like, I don't want to be in an income category where anyone notices me. The welcome mat has been removed. Yes, you can come if you chill and listen for a while and then join the conversation. You can't be like, hey, I just popped in here from the Daily Wire. What's this guy talking about? You're gone. Gone. Because even if you figure it out, no one wants you here. Like, you don't act properly. You know? Like, it's like, who needs that guy? Hey, man! BB, I quit drinking because of you. Nice. See, that's what I like. I like having a nice few thousand people where, encouraging people to have children, give up addiction. It's great. I don't want the grabbler light on me ever again. But, you can feel the ISI, Ron. Always notices the nickels. Always notices the nickels. I'm new and I'm listening. Thank you for the direction. Anytime, Patrick. That's great. The problem is like, hey, man, I just got here. Will you start over and talk about child soldiers like Greta Thunberg, Nayirah, and Stephen Severin? It's like, no. Why don't you go on over to the Daily Wire? Go on over to the Daily Wire. Make sure you don't forget, promo code Ben to let them know who sent you. Nick has had Owen on time. Yeah, Nick DePaul is great. Love Nick DePaul. The Dallas Cow persons? No, see, it's way bigger than that. I like where your head's at, Cactus Eater Bear, but I'm going to be doing agricultural work starting this season because of you. Awesome, Sir Logos. It's because of you. I'm not taking credit. I'm good at guidance, but it's not because of me. This is how men used to be. Men used to they'd grow shit, make families, make fun of stuff, talk about conspiracy theories, fix stuff. That's what men are. I'm simply acting like a normal man from a non-cucked world. So if you do something, it means you're doing it. It's not me doing it. You guys are giving me an incredible amount of material. So it's a two-way street here. The San Diego user rechargers. Yeah. We got a ton of those. Daily Wire promo code BEND. You got to bend over for shekels. Owen numbers his videos go to number 1. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Yeah, like every podcast I've ever done is still on iTunes. People were trying to shame me where they're like, oh, I listened to one of your podcasts from 7 years ago, and you were pro-choice. I'm like, yeah, I've talked about that a lot. My whole world changed when my wife got pregnant. Yeah, but you're a liar. No. I'm very open about my entire life, about how, just like a lot of people, we were blind and now we see, I never was like into abortion. I never encouraged a woman to have an abortion. I've never been a part of an abortion. I just regurgitated what I was told all the time. Just like a lot of you fuckers. If I was ashamed of any of my life, I never would, though. That's just not my personality. Starting at number 1, all the way up to 641, you can listen to everything I've ever fucking done because the journey's fun. Listen to this guy. This dude's been listening since episode 1. It's authentic. It's the opposite of grifting. It's just like someone's like, oh, you misrepresent yourself. You used to. I'm like, yeah, when I was a single touring comic, just fucking people, agnostic, materialist, fun to be around. I wasn't like a bad guy, but it's like, I didn't know any of this shit. I didn't know the level of lie. And frankly, neither did you. And we all know that. We all know you didn't either. The veils have been lifting. The scales have been dropping. And we all know that it wasn't just me who fell for a lot of this shit. Yeah, I used to want to be an astronaut. San Francisco 55ers rubbing nickels. That's pretty funny. Would take a while to figure that out, though. Why did I get put into a timeout for laughing emojis yesterday? Owen was hilarious, and I was expressing laughter. You're back. Let's just all grow and not really care. I saved streams 1 through 200. Thank you, Upstate Bear. I know, it's so funny when people are... It's literally funny. I'm not saying funny sarcastically. It literally is funny to me when they're like, well, guess what? I have some of your early streams. And my response is always, can you send them to me? I don't want them to be erased. I'm like, it's like re-listen to my first episode I did with the Impractical Jokers on their, in like 2012. It was at a winery in LA in one of their back rooms. And it's called Hipster House Cats. Not only am I not ashamed of that stuff, you can see that, like, how long I've been saying some of this shit. Like, go back to 2012 and listen to me talk about the Hipster House Cats. It was called Hipster House Cats is the name of the episode with the Impractical Jokers. A few fundamental things have changed in me, like the source of truth is God. I didn't used to know that. But as far as making fun of soy boys, I used to call them house cats or indoor cats. I'm not the one who's changed. You've been streaming since 2012? Dude, I was one of the top MySpace comedians in like 07. I've been crushing for a long time. I watched for a year before I commented. Good for you, the walrus. Jews refuse to give the quarterback. That's funny. That's really funny. Did you see Brandon Schwab's awful stand-up? Yeah, it's disgraceful. Hey, BB, do you think you have to hit hard times to have an awakening? No. Love. Hard times or love, either evil or love is very awakening. Either like true love or true evil. House Cats, great bit. Thank you. Yeah, and that was like 7 years ago. And people are like, "Oh, dude, you see this fresh new comic talking about house cats?" Like, yeah, I'm like a carcass as far as like Hollywood goes, where people think they can just pick my fucking bits. I don't care though. Pizzagate woke a lot of people up. Yeah, well, just abject evil, just awakening to evil. I first saw you on Sullivan and Son. Sweet, Jill, and you're still here. That was a long time ago. BB, could you do a Homesteading 101 stream? Yes. Well, we're starting to shoot a documentary as soon as my buddies get here. Evil got me started. Love saved me. Beautiful, Chris. Love it. Love it. Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens got a red flag for grifting. Here we got Candace Owens on the field. Oh, she's playing both sides. Oh, she's picking up all the nickels, and she's out. I thought only Grab was dealing binary. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds like somebody that I want to ban. So I am. I don't like when people try and like do fake trap. I thought that only grabbers deal in fake binary. I don't even know what you're referring to, but I don't like the way you speak. So you're gone now. Las Vegas shooting woke me up. Yeah, that was a big one. The Tampa. This is what gamma males and evil don't understand is a lot of the slander people try to use against me, people actually relate to. When someone's like, well, Owen Benjamin used to be pro-choice back in the day, and people are like, so was I. Wow, I relate to that. It has the opposite effect because it shows that I'm not a brand. I'm not a grifter. I'm as authentic as you're going to find on the fucking internet. And so when you expose these like weaknesses and flaws and mistakes and stuff, it has the opposite effect. People are like, no way. If that guy can do it, so can I. It's like, Owen used to suck at carpentry. Baby, how would you feed the animals if the feed store isn't around? Working on it as we speak. I'm growing orchard grass in the new goat area. And yeah, I'm working on that as we speak, actually. And the ducks eat slugs. The chickens are free range a lot. I mean, I still supplement them, but my goal at all times is always be more self-sustaining. So I'm growing my own orchard and Timothy grass. How do you store your goat's milk? In the refrigerator. Well, how would you do that? Well, then you just I'm also working on a fucking root cellar. One step at a time, guys. Orchard grass smells amazing. It does, Tiny Bear. Every Graboid team needs a Candace. It's fact. BB, how much room do you need for goats? Not a lot. Get Nigerian dwarfs. And no, that's not Joe Rogan in blackface. Excellent, BB. Your goat story is inspiration. Goats are awesome. Healthy food eats healthy food. Yes. I do have, your basic shit, though, that they eat. How much goat milk do you get a day? About between a half a gallon and a gallon. Oh, you helped me become more faithful. Thanks a lot, BB. Anytime, Cooking Bear. The Green Bay Gammas. No, it's the Green Bay Sacklers. It's been a blessing to watch you struggle, learn, and crush building. Thanks for bringing us all on your journey. Yeah, and that's why it's so preposterous when people try and shame me for my journey. Where they're like, Big Bear, I remember when you used to just have sex with a lot of women and you thought it was really cool. I can't wait to expose you. I'm like, would you like to ask Amy about it when she first met me? She'll tell you some real funny stories. It's like, well, I mean, I just emailed your wife about how back in the day you used to like women. It's like, yeah, you don't think she knows that? She's my wife. She knows everything about me. Amy will like read people's messages to her, trying to reveal stuff and be like, did you know this about your husband? And she just laughs. She's like, this is fucking hysterical. Want to know how she views the men who do it? Beyond pathetic. Beyond. Because not only does it show that these men don't understand women, they don't understand our life together and they don't understand anything. And they're just showing how fucking weaselly and disgusting they are. And just know that when you try and slander me to my wife, she literally laughs at you. Like it brings her joy. Like she will just be like, I can't believe these men exist. I'm so spoiled having you, Owen. Meanwhile, these little grabblers are just like, oh, did you know that Owen once had sex with this girl? And she's like, yeah, when I met him, he was a 6'7", relatively famous, like hilarious piano player in LA living alone with a dog. Yeah, he used to fuck. Oh my God. And the fact that men think that is a turnoff to women it's like you don't know women. You don't have a concept of women. It's like, oh, when she finds out that other women used to really like Owen, she's going to leave him. It's like, no, it makes my fidelity even more of a compliment. Because a lot of these men are faithful because they don't have any options, which women find pretty pathetic. The fact, truth comes greater and greater on this stream. Oh, it's great. The Washington whack-offs, that's pretty funny. And now you have the jizz strength to make babies with it. Right. Like, it's so much more of a compliment to her that with the ability of getting a lot of women, I choose one. That's huge. And so every time these guys are like, hey, well, it's like, dude, do you even understand how women are? It's because they are used to cucking to women who act like that. Right. And then they like, a woman will like pity make out with them if they're drunk, and they think it's because they're cucks, and it's really because they're just women just treat them like shit. This is what you should watch out for if you're a man. If women are like, oh, he's such a nice boy. They're fucking mocking you. Listen to Ellen DeGenerate, when he was talking to like she'll always be like, oh, he was a nice boy. Meanwhile, she's trying to fuck the girls that are with all these movie stars. Brad Pitt even called it out on Ellen. He was like, yeah, you were trying to have sex with my girlfriend. And Ellen was like, yeah, you're such a nice boy. You're such a good little cuck. BB is speaking the truth and killing it. It's a fact. It's a fact. That's why women can get over shit like that a lot more than men. And it's a man's job to be monogamous and faithful. But it's not because women won't get over it, because they do. They do. If a woman is with a very strong, providing, attractive man, they're designed to get over infidelity. It's your job to never put them in that position because it caused them a lot of pain. It's also horrible for society, and you're also commanded not to do that. But just know that these gamma males don't understand anything. Because like women that are with alpha or high status males, they're designed to be cool. Not cool, they get fucking crazy, but they'll let you. And then they resent you, but they'll let you. It's in their DNA. It's not in the male's DNA for that. Because it's all I've done bits on it. It's all supply and demand, The husband is a great name for a football team. Pittsburgh Bite Steelers. Ellen DeGenerate. White knights treat women like objects the most. They're disgusting. They're so hate. Want to know who hates white knights even more than men? Strong men? Women. They think that they're so pathetic. The white knight, oh, I'm here to stand up for women. Women want a provider, a truth teller. They want strength. Strength at any level. That's what they want. They don't want someone to say lies so that they feel good for a short amount of time, because that means that they'll die. A man that speaks lies is no good to a woman. Just a heads up, everyone. Oh, thank you, Bedrosian. Julie, agreed. Yeah, and just if people don't believe me, just listen to the women. Mrs. B. Bear, amen. Julie, agreed. It's just, women are like, yeah, that's the truth. And men are, Mama Bear's like, speaking truth, BB. It's like, women will back this up, and these white knights will still be like, no, but I'm like, okay, I'm telling you the truth. Women are saying, yes, this is all true. White knights make our ovaries try to run away. Right, and they still will do it. It's like a sickness. It's like, say the truth. Like, back in my hedonistic days, I was still never a liar. I never was a liar. It's just my truth was a lot more degenerate. And they were fine with it. That's why I don't have like psychos like that hate me and shit, because I never lied to women. And it's like, they responded like oddly well to it. And so all these men that are just like, oh, did you know? It's like, yeah, they know. And they don't care because they fucking hate liars. Hate. Especially when it's for men. Oh my goodness. Owen, I love your advice. Gabby Bearfly's Dancing Bear. Welcome, Dancing Bear. White knighting is a gamma way of hope for a woman's attention. Right. They think by acting like a woman, they'll be able to get a woman's affection. What it does is it makes women treat you like a woman, which gets you closer to the women. Now, they don't want to have sex with you. So that's why the white knights are all rapists. Not all, most. They wait for you to get drunk, vulnerable, or fall asleep, and then they molest you. Even high status gammas like Harvey Weinstein, he acted like a gamma the whole fucking time. Women don't care about money. They care about crushing. You know, a man that can build his woman a beautiful table and like just work at it and just crush it because she likes a giant, beautiful table because he has the skills to do it is more attractive than a billionaire hedge fund gamma male. Fact. They're attracted to men who can provide. I'm not saying they don't appreciate wealth, but they don't fucking care. A gamma billionaire, they still find repulsive. That's why these guys always end up with literal whores. Like a man who can build a woman a table. That's why do you think women are so attracted to the guy in The Notebook? He was never like a billionaire. The chick liked this rundown house and he was like, I'm going to fucking fix that house and grow a beard and just like crush. And she was always obsessed with the guy because he just had the jizz strength. He was like, I will build you that fucking house and then I will fuck you in the house. Women love it. They don't need billionaires. They actually despise them. Like if that character was also a billionaire, they'd be fired up. Status. But a billionaire gamma, they hate. That's why what happens is materialistic women will marry a billionaire gamma and then cheat on them constantly. And then the billionaire gamma starts resenting women, resenting humanity, pushing vaccines, pushing chemtrails, because it all goes back to male-female relationships. Bill Gates' woman probably has never fucked him. Like anybody in that house would get Melinda's pussy over Bill. Bill is a gamma cuck. And it doesn't matter how many fucking palatial compounds he can build. Her pussy is dry. And that's a fact. That's why he's trying to kill the world. Because if everyone's dead, maybe his wife will suck his dick. It's that fucking simple. That's why these, listen, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. I get it. It's not as deep as people think sometimes. It's as simple as, are you gamma? You know, a lot of these people, their wives won't fuck them. I know this shit. I've entertained the kings and queens of this world. Their wives will aggressively try to fuck you at the hang later where everyone's having wine. Fact. Look at me. Fact. And then they think they're into swinging. No, you're a cuck and your wife fucks random guys because you can't build a fucking table. That's why this whole like obsession with money is so stupid. Gammas can't help but subvert because they hate the world. Why wouldn't you hate the world? You invent Microsoft, you get 100 billion, and your wife doesn't want to see your dick. And then they see like a waiter who's just getting like blowjob after blowjob after blowjob. Like people that work for Bill Gates that just have that sparkle in their eye of just truth and hard work. And it's just constant blowjobs for these guys. What does it make Bill Gates do? He wants to kill the world because he loses again. They always fucking lose. You think George Soros ever got honest sex in his fucking life? No. This is a bit dying. Oh, it should be a bit. Someone remind me of this. Why didn't they laugh? We all saw the way Anne Hathaway looked at you. Guys, it was just like women like the same shit. They like people that can make them laugh. They like people that try hard, that have a plan and speak the truth. They like a man that makes them feel safe. That's it. It's so simple that these gamma males are like, so I'll spin this whole thing. It's like, no. While you're doing that, she'll try and suck my dick. Well, it's because you're a cult leader. No, it's been like this for a very long time. They want a song to sing along to. They want to feel safe. They want a good time. They want someone that isn't going to lie to them. You know, they want a man with a plan because they don't have plans. They suck at plans. They want a man that listens to them. Isn't like them. When they talk about their duvet cover, they don't want a guy to be like, OMG, I also love duvets. No, that makes you a homosexual or a woman. They want a man that likes that you like it. Like Amy's into all kinds of shit I have no interest in because I'm not a sodomite or a woman. But I like what makes her happy. So it's like when she obsesses all day long about shit that I don't care at all about. The color of drapes, fucking different shit. But I love her. So what makes her happy, I support. But do you think I give a fuck if it's gold drapes? No, zero, not one fuck. I don't care if we have drapes. When she met me, there was a broken glass on my floor that had been there a month. They don't want to financially support a man. Exactly. They want you to make more than them. The good news is they're not supposed to even make any. They want a man that makes more money than them. That's it. You don't have to be a billionaire. All they want is that the man makes more money than them. They don't want to support a man. They want to support children. Well, the good news, guys, is women aren't supposed to be making money. Men are. Women are supposed to be wives and moms. So if you make $35,000 a year, but you have skills, bravery, authenticity, you listen to her, all that stuff, you make more than her, and she's happy. And guess what? They don't fantasize about the billionaire gamma males. That's a gamma male fantasy that they push on you through the media. The people who run the media are all short gammas, and they know it. That's why I'm not scared of them. When people are like, aren't you scared to say these things? I know these people. They can't fucking put their head out a window without pissing their pants in fear. They're a bunch of fucking pussies. And their wives don't respect them. Their wives don't fuck them. Their wives don't give a flying fuck about their chemtrail fantasies. Men will live in a Ford Pinto and lay brick and drink beer if left alone. Right. And if they're authentic about it, a woman will be their wife. White knight gammas have a very low probability of having children. Well, except in rape or coercion. That's why a lot of grabblers trace their lineage through the woman. Why? Because they don't know who the dads are. Because gamma males always cuck. Grabblers notoriously have dads that aren't their mom's husbands. Why do you think they only trace it through women? Because they don't know who the fuck their dad is. The woman would indiscriminately fuck anyone she wants and then make fun of the guy. And then the guy sits around going, oh, and then tries to set up another fucking tax scam. That's reality. All right, I have 3% left on my computer. That's why it's funny when these people try and push fears on me that will never exist. And they're like, oh, Amy fucking wants this guy. I'm like, Amy wants no one but me. It's like, oh, humble much? It's a fact. When you do it right, when you're good at being a husband and father, they don't want anyone else. It's when you're failing that they do. That's a fact. Damn, surprise rant of the week. Oh, yeah. Crowder reaches under centers. Chelsea Clinton is not Bill Clinton's. No chance. Probably not even Hillary's. I only make $12,000 on disability, but I'm an artist. Well, just go for a woman that makes $11,000. That's all it is more. It doesn't mean way more. It just means more. Why do you think these Hillary Clintons and Beyoncés are so cursed to marry monsters? Beyonce has to be with a man who makes more than her. There's like 3. And one of them's a former crack dealer who may be the devil. Like, Hillary Clinton had to be with a guy with more power and money than her. Turns out it was a serial rapist. Pity these people. We are the 3%ers. I'm at 3% right now. You just connected a lot of dots for me, Owen. Wow. Yeah, no problem. I'm a dot connector. It's been demonized as a conspiracy theorist. I don't care. If I were to adjust my behavior based on the desires of grabblers, I wouldn't have a great marriage with a great woman. I would be a cuck gamma male. That's hypergamy, Owen. Exactly. They do want you to make more. That's fine. They're not supposed to make much. There's, like, if a woman makes more money than a man, she's going to resent you. They always do. Fine. Unless it's like a year or two when you're just down on your luck or some shit. But if a woman consistently makes more than the man starts collecting dolls, the kids end up trans, and everyone moves to Israel. It happens every fucking time. All right, guys. Unauthorized.tv. Subscribe. Unbearablesmerchandise.com. Buy some shit. I'll see you on the tour. Hit the Rogans up. Comment. Let me know how you think about anything you want. I read the comments. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. If you're a gamma, you'll get banned. If you're like, well, you said, and then you said, No one needs you. You're useless. Mwah, I love you guys. Be fruitful and multiply. Don't be fruity and blow a guy.